Hey everybody, welcome back. It's good to see you. Today we are not working on the Mark 5 Jetta, but instead we are working on the Mark 6, and we are going to be installing some USB ports into the center console. That way we can power up some of our devices and charge them while we are in the vehicle cruising down the highway. Now I already have this set installed on the Mark 5 here. They just go nice and neat up here in the center console, so we are going to do a quick install video on the Mark 6 and get that one all up and running. So this is the Mark 6 here. You can see we've got the same panel up here. So we are going to get these installed so we can have some USB power to easily charge all of our devices while we're in the car. This is going to be a real quick install video to get the USB ports up here. Real nice kit here, comes with everything. Cabling here is just going to intercept the power from the 12 volt there. We've got a regular USB A type port and a USB C type port. These are just the standard inline squared off ones. So it's going to go in any of these three spots here. It's not one of the rounded ones that goes on the end. So just pick two spots here. We're going to use those. We're going to get this installed and then we're going to have power. And I will leave links to all the products and tools used down in the video description below. So if you're interested in doing this for yourself, definitely check those links out and give them a click and help the channel out. So the first step is we got to get the shift boot housing here up. Sometimes having a little interior pry bar tool comes in handy, but a lot of times you can just get in there with the shift boot, get up underneath it, pop it up, just get that out of the way. This is the automatic, so we've got some cabling and stuff going to it, so don't go super crazy. If you have a manual transmission, you won't have any cabling going through it, and you can just prop it up and not worry about that wire. On either side here, you're going to have a T20 Torx screw. There's gonna be one on each side. You got to pull those out. That's going to give you access to pop up the forward tray. Might be handy to have a magnet nearby. That way you don't drop the screws when you get them out. You can pick them up with the magnetic tool. Links to everything down in the description. But we just got to get both of these bolts out. With both of those bolts removed, this whole tray will just slide up and you'll have access to underneath it. And this one has the push button start because it is a Mark 6, so that cable is there. This cable way down deep is going to be for the 12 volt, so we need to disconnect that. And we are working with electrical here, so before this process, if you want to disconnect the negative lead on your battery, that's just a little safeguard to make sure you're not going to, cause any harm to yourself or the vehicle. This tray can pull forward a little bit to make it easier to access. It's a little difficult with the shifter and everything here on the automatic. You can move it out of the way. If it's a manual transmission, a little easier. But we just got to disconnect the clips on this one so we can disconnect the 12 volt source. There's a little tab on the back side here. Just press that in. It's on the back, and then you can pull it down and separate it from the 12 volt. Then everything from there is pretty simple. We just got to plug everything back in. So you're going to have this harness here. This is going to intercept the 12 volt. So you've got your two cables there. You can plug this one into the 12 volt. This is going to pull the power from the car. So the original 12 volt power plug is going to go in here. That's going to intercept power from the car. This will go back to power your 12 volt. And then you've got your two connections here that are going to power both the switches. So just find that cable that probably dropped down. This is much easier to do on a Mark 5 with a manual transmission because you got more room to work around. The Mark 6 is a little bit more cramped. These are keyed, so they will only go in one direction. You don't have to worry about crossing the connection up and getting it plugged in backwards. They are keyed, so they will only work one way. So we've got the main connector in. Now we're going to reconnect the 12 volt. Click that one in. Now we've got basically everything we had before. These tabs up top, just pick the two that you want. You can go in from the back side and just kind of pop them out. Those will just pop out right there. You can just push on them with your finger. Nothing special needed. Then line up your two new ones. These ones do have the markings on them, so line them up so they're orientated properly, and they will just slide into the slots and pop down. Click into place essentially. Just like so. Then we're going to have two cables here. These just need to get plugged into the bottom of the new receptacles, the new USB port. And again, they are keyed just like so. And then once those are all plugged in, you can kind of shove the excess wire down underneath this back panel here, and then when we close everything up, everything will be all out of the way and good. Kind of just set that back into place. Then you're going to have those 2 screws. So the T20 screw, just go ahead and retighten those down on each side and snug them down. Don't need to over tighten it. This is just tightening down plastic, so we don't need to over torque it. Definitely don't want to be breaking your plastic interior panels. Then with those tightened, so we got both tightened on each side, just work your shift boot back down and pop it back into place. With everything buttoned up and everything plugged in, you're good to just turn on the ignition power. However, I have a blown 20 amp fuse that I need to replace. Well, thanks to Amazon, I think we should have the fuse we need in here to get this thing all rocking and rolling. Fuse is swapped out, got the phone plugged in, ignition on, and we are charging. Good to go. Shut up, car. Anyways, that was the install of the USB ports on a Mark 6 Jetta. This is a 2013 Volkswagen Jetta. Similar process on all the Mark 5s. Very simple, very straightforward. All the links to the products used and the tools used down in the description below. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And as always, I will see you in the next one.